Good morning. It's March the 20th. It's a Saturday morning. We've been talking about the temptations of Jesus for several weeks, the temptation to material goods or to provide security, or the temptation to prestige or power and fame. All of these things are attempts by humanity in various ways to put ourselves in the place of God. That was what St. Augustine thought was the original sin, was to trying to be like God, as the tempter put it to the woman in the garden. And so when we try to be like God, we raise ourselves up to a certain level. And we find that we can't sustain that. Life has a way of knocking us back down. You see, God is the most high. So God is, way up here. We are lower. We're below God. We're creatures. And so being lower than God is our proper place. The word humble and humility all come from the Latin word that means low, lower. And so we're lower than the Creator. That's the appropriate place for creatures to be. So the Creator gives us grace, and our only legitimate response is gratitude. And when you're thankful for something, that puts you at a debt, puts you lower than the other person, right? If I give you a check for $10 million, it'll bounce. But if I were to do that, really, your response would be to be thankful and give me gratitude. I mean, there are other possible responses, but everybody would recognize that that's not how you behave. Someone gives you something tremendous for free, you're grateful. And so that gratitude is what sustains us. So God gives us grace. We are the recipients of grace. We are lower, and we live lives in gratitude. And gratitude, when you do it, when you're grateful, produces joy. And so we see that humility ultimately leads to gratitude, which leads to joy, which feeds on itself and keeps us in the proper relationship to God the Father. That's where we want to be. Now, I'm not going to write you a check for $10 million, but God gives us infinitely more than that in giving us Himself and drawing us into His life through Jesus Christ. And so we find that as we live in humble gratitude before Jesus, before the Father, we find that we are living lives that are filled with joy. And that's my prayer for you today. Think about that, ponder that, and tomorrow we'll have our worship service. It's only a week, and then we'll be together again outside on Palm Sunday, and we'll see you there. Have a good day.